Hi all, I'm Dan Dalzotto, co-founder and chief of product here at Outlaw. As you've heard, we recently joined the Filevine family and we couldn't be more excited. The last 3 months have been filled with some of the most interesting forward-thinking conversations we've had around building product that alleviates the pain points of legal work and contract management. I'm excited to share with this community who Outlaw is, what we offer, and how it can help your organization. So let me go back about 5 years. Outlaw's CTO, Evan Schneer, and I started Outlaw because we wanted to fix the chaos that happens within the contract lifecycle. As you might know, each of these stages can have multiple components, stakeholders, and workflows. When using manual or ad hoc processes to manage the lifecycle, legal teams experience a loss of control, lack of visibility, bottlenecks, and of course, human error at every stage. So Evan and I set out to build a better way. Something that we share with the Filevine team is we believe in the value of first principles. That to really solve a problem means you start from the very beginning. Outlaw is the first of its kind proprietary legal authoring platform built from the ground up for each stage of the contract lifecycle. It features 4 distinct interlocking modules, so meet Draft, Flow, Vault, and Connect. Draft is our proprietary legal authoring system. It powers seamless workflows throughout the lifecycle and starts at the foundation of all contract processes, the template. In Draft, we're assisting legal teams to maintain total control over their legal language and empowering business teams with self-serve templates to rapidly generate contracts that are approved by legal. One of the standout features of Draft is conditional clauses. If this, then that logic that reduces the number of templates needed. In one experiment, we were able to migrate a tech company's 239 templates and reduce them down to only 46 by using conditional logic. Next up is Flow. In Flow, we're ensuring nothing gets in the way of the deal. Here is where you can automatically increase collaboration and communication in real time, as well as compliance. Through various features like approval checkpoints, real-time notifications, and mobile e-signing, that never-ending back and forth between teams gets eliminated through Flow. Vault focuses on the tail end of the contract lifecycle. Here you're minimizing risk by having all of your legal documents centralized in a secure repository. Once they're stored in Outlaw, Vault captures the contract data so you can report and track across all your contracts. You can get notified of key contract data points such as renewals, expiration dates, and contract statuses. And one unique feature here is that you can batch generate thousands of contracts and legal documents in minutes. For instance, for mass tort clients, think about auto-populating a batch of form letters or releases and having them automatically get emailed out within seconds. And when your clients e-sign, everything gets automatically tracked. The final module is Connect. Due to how we're built, we can rapidly deploy integrations for hundreds of business tools, including Filevine. For example, when you connect your CRM to Outlaw, it autofills legal documents instantly, and all that valuable data automatically updates with any changes. You don't have to worry about errors and the constant tracking of updates. So now, let's jump into the product. I'm going to walk you through Draft and Flow. Afterwards, do sign up for a demo to see the full platform in action. So here we are in Draft. This is where it all begins with your templates. Our customers migrate their templates into Outlaw using this tool. Typically, they bring in a Word document, but you can also start from a blank or an existing template. Now, seeing as though that we have a few templates in here, let's jump into something that might be familiar to us all, an employee offer letter. So what we're looking at now is the Draft user interface. And what you're seeing is 3 distinct sections. Up the top, we have the top formatting bar, we have the contract here, and we have something very unique to Outlaw, which is the overview layer. And I'm going to go into detail of all these three. So taking a look at Outlaw's draft user interface, this is our purpose-built word processor for templates. And what you're seeing here is a template that has been brought onto the Outlaw platform, and it's been formatted, and we've added signature blocks as well as appendices. Two things that I want to point out here is the variables and some conditionality. And now this is where Outlaws, we can take a static template and make it very dynamic. And that's going to benefit you in multiple ways. So let's first talk about variables. Now, variables are where you can fill pieces of metadata. For example, effective dates and compensation. All of this data is then searchable and reportable via Outlaw Vault. The next feature I'd like to highlight is clause conditionality, something truly unique to Outlaw, as we have the ability to show and hide content or clauses within a document using logic. For example, this one, if a contract type equals full-time, show it. If not, hide it. I'll show an example of this when we jump into Flow. The next feature I'd like to highlight that's something truly unique to Outlaw is the overview layer. And what you're seeing here is completely optional. It can be used as a cover letter, cliff notes, and even an intake form for your documents as you see fit. Let's fill in some of the information during a preview so you can see how it really works. So now we're looking at a preview of the overview layer, and we have the contract just on the flip side here. Let's jump back to the overview and fill out some of this information and see how it gets transferred through to the contract. So I can fill out custom dates, job titles, salaries, and this is just a small preview, but if I jump over, now you can start to see that this information is coming through. It can be filled out here or on the overview layer as well. So as I mentioned, Outlaw Draft is a very powerful template authoring tool. We have the ability to add, to configure quite a bit around the contract. We have also the ability to add default users to the contract. So every contract that you send out is going to have for example, the company's CEO as the signer, ready to sign at any point. There's so much more to discuss, but I'm going to leave it there and we'll jump over into Flow. So let's jump right into Flow, Outlaw's end-to-end deal flow tool. Let's generate a contract from a template. Let's use the offer letter. What you're seeing here is the overview layer. Now, I can jump right over into the contract and proceed to fill out all this information here. Alternatively, if Outlaw was hooked up to a CRM, you would be able to seamlessly bring that data in as well. But let's jump back to the overview layer. It really is a great way to first introduce the contract to a future employee. I'm going to invite Katie to this contract. So I'm going to fill out some information here. And we have her here as start date is today, and the position title is account executive. We're going to make sure that she reports to the SVP of sales. And by default, we have this set as a full-time position. As I mentioned before, this is where the conditionality comes into play. Let's say we wanted to start this as a contract to hire. We can now see that this conditionality has changed, and it's also changed some of the clauses here as well. So if I was to change that again in the contract, let's move it back to full-time, you can see that only the related clauses for full-time will be shown. So let's jump back over to the overview and complete the contract. Let's add the base and make sure the expiration date is only valid for a month. So now this is saying we have progressed over to the draft stage. I'm going to jump over to the contract just to review it. And I do have the ability to sign here, but there's a few things that I'd like to do prior. I'd like to invite one of my teammates just to review. Let's say I will add Jumi, and I'll make sure that she is not a signer and she's a viewer, but I'll also give her the ability to propose red lines as well. Cloud-based redlining is a really powerful feature of Outlaw. Everything is recorded in this one document here and stored on the cloud. So let's make some red lines here. Let me remove that. And now this deal cannot progress any further because I have to resolve all open issues. So this would be, I would write to Jumi, and she can go ahead and approve these changes or reject them. It's really up to her. And once all of this has been resolved, I'm then able to continue to sign. Let's take a look at a few other features of the Outlaw Flow module. Let's start off with checkpoints. This is an approval workflow tool, custom built for Outlaw. So let's say I want my superior Jumi to approve this contract. I can create a checkpoint with her on it. And effectively what this is doing is locking down this contract so no other edits can be made until Jumi gives the thumbs up or thumbs down. I'm just going to go ahead and cancel that. And let's continue on with the other feature I'd like to show, which is the contract activity. This log here captures everything, including all comments, additional changes to sections, and additional red lines, you name it. We have the ability also to attach supplemental files and images to each contract. So this is great in the case of an offer letter. You can upload a health insurance package if the employee needs to upload their identification or W-2, they can. Now I want to jump into the users panel where we can see everyone who has access to the contract, and we can see here that there are some granular control settings. For example, for the recipient, we want to keep them as a signer, or we can set them as a proposer, and they only have the ability to propose red lines and not approve them. Now, I think this is ready to share with Katie. What I'm going to do is share it with the user via email. And now she receives an email inviting her to the contract and to sign. And meanwhile, I can go ahead and sign here on the platform. So what we've done is progress this to signing. Once Katie signs, this will move to done. The contract gets locked down. Both parties get a PDF email to them, and the contract is stored on the Outlaw platform. I should also mention for guests and recipients of your contracts, Outlaw is completely free. They do not have to pay for access. So jumping out of Flow, we are now in Outlaw Vault, Outlaw's contract repository. Thanks to all that metadata that is stored alongside these contracts, we can do some really powerful things. We can start filtering if we just want to see deals that are in signing. And for example, if I just want to see the deals that are the offer letter in signing, I can choose that here. I can go even further and drill down into the offer letters that are only full-time, And what you're seeing now is really, the power of that metadata. We can achieve some great things. So what we can do here is actually save that as a filter and then use that filter for reporting. So I can show you a quick example of some dashboard reports, things that matter to me. All of these contracts are in my repository, and I want to filter down to the demo corporation ones. And what I can see now is a filter that's been created prior, which is the offer letters in the last 365 days. So if I want to drill into that, I can do that like this. I see all the contracts. It's also filtered by the last 365 days of the offer letter. And this is all thanks to that metadata that is stored on the Outlaw platform. We have a few other things that are really powerful. For example, batch generation. So if we wanted the ability to generate thousands of offer letters in one fell swoop, we could do that. I would simply drag a CSV file onto the Outlaw platform. And as you can see here, I'm generating 50. We have all that information stored from a CSV file. And once I click start, that would generate 50 contracts. And if we checked here, they would all be shipped out to the email address on file. And we could go ahead and push all of those 50 through a deal flow as seamlessly as possible. Now, we're only scratching the surface of the Outlaw platform. Do book yourself a demo and get to really know the power of the platform. So that was a snippet of what Outlaw can do. Now, what's to come? In the next several months, we're excited to launch a native integration between Filevine and Outlaw, and we'll be working to create more connections between the two platforms, resulting in a better experience for all of our users. With the power of Outlaw and Filevine together, we're evolving our contract management platform to encompass all types of legal documents. That means all your legal work, from case and legal matters, clients and contacts, can be scaled rapidly under one platform. More importantly, this means that all overlapping data and stakeholders are now connected, communicating together. Our internal mantra at Outlaw has always been nothing gets in the way of a deal. Now we're adding nothing gets in the way of legal work, and we're excited to help that mantra become your reality. So be sure to reach out for a demo so we can show you how Outlaw can help you solve your legal work issues. Thank you for joining us.